What good is a to-do list if it still has all of the projects on there that you set out at the beginning of the year to complete? Stay tuned because today I am walking you through the essential 5 steps to help you tackle those unfinished projects, finish the year strong, and start the new year with momentum. All right, if you are like the rest of us, you set out at the beginning of the year with these audacious goals, these big dreams, and you had so much that you were going to complete. That's why the year-end reflection is one of the most essential steps that I tell everyone they have to complete. That year-end reflection really allows you to look back over the last 11 months and say, what did I get completed? What didn't I do? Why didn't I get it completed? And what do I need so I can get it done? We set out and we have these big dreams, and that's okay. The dreams aren't the problem. The goals aren't too big. It's the steps that you're taking to get there. Think back to January this year, understanding the goals that you have for yourself, understanding where you are with those goals, and outlining a plan, a 30-day plan to see what goals you can complete before the year ends. This just frees you up for so much clarity. Think about it. If your brain and body is still holding goals from the top of this year that you have yet to complete, and then the new year comes around and you add more goals on top of it, you are just bogging your mental down with more to-dos, more projects, more tasks that you don't have a system or a plan to get finished. So let's go back to January. What goals did you set for yourself at the beginning of the year? Were these financial goals? Were these health goals? Were these business goals? Were you trying to launch something new? Were you trying to increase your revenue? What was your top priorities at the beginning of this year? I want you to take a second and I want you to write down what were those goals for the top of the year. There are 3 common roadblocks that stumps everybody when it comes to finishing a project. Normally, your steps are too big, meaning you are focusing on the overall project instead of the intricate steps that it takes you to get there. If you don't know exactly how many steps it takes you to get to the end, you are taking 2 steps that are too big and it feels overwhelming. When your brain feels overwhelmed, it shuts down. It is no different than you and I. So to help your brain from feeling overwhelmed, breaking those projects down into miniature tasks and steps is the way to get from point A to point Z. The second reason is you haven't figured out each step that you need to get to the end. How long does each step take? You'll be surprised. Some steps in the project take 5 minutes. Some steps take 2 hours. Some steps 30 minutes. But if you haven't gone through each step and allotted the appropriate time on what it would take to complete that step, you don't even know when you have the opportunity to work on that step. And the third thing, and it's the biggest roadblock, making good use of your time. Everybody's always talking about time management, right? Time management is not getting more time back in your day, but it's really about wasting less of your time. What are opportunities in your day from morning to night where you have more time to actually work on a 30-minute task, a 5-minute task, a 10-minute task? Once you evaluate how much free time you actually have in your day and you've allotted time frames to each step, you are going to feel so much ease when you sit down to work on a project. And we're actually going to walk through a real project today. I'm going to walk you through step by step how to outline the project, task by task, how to allot the appropriate time for that task, and then how to schedule it. So let's go ahead. I'm going to take you to the board. We are about to break down launching a 30-day coaching program at the top of January. Most business owners are always trying to revamp their offers, their services, their products to understand how do they want to start the year off. Let's say one of your goals this year was to reduce your number of one-on-one clients. So you're going to launch a group cohort. We're going to walk through how to map out the project for launching a 30-day group cohort, okay? All right. So again, your goal was to reduce the number of one-on-one clients that you offer before the new year. To do so, your project is launch. Okay? This is the project. Often people are putting projects on their to-do list. You can't put launch 30-day program on your actual to-do list. The things that go on your to-do list should be the small, intricate steps that it takes to get to this overall project goal. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and outline the steps to take to get to this goal. All right, so we're going to say the first thing that you need to do is to define the program, right? What type of program are you launching? Number one. And yes, this is a step. It may seem like a small step or a simple step, but every step counts. This is one of the top mistakes that business owners, professionals, everyday people are making when it comes to setting a goal and achieving that goal. Okay. So, number two, after you define the program, now you have to outline the program. This is where you would be setting clear objectives, outcomes, and defining what material you would need to get your audience to that outcome. Okay. So number three, now you have outlined the program, you know what the program is going to be. So now you have to, and these are all just some of the pre-steps. Okay, so we're going to say pre. This is some of the pre-work that needs to be done before you actually jump into executing the program. All right, now the fourth step is you have to write some website copy, right? Or you have to put this offer on your existing website or a landing page or an email marketing landing page, right? So you're going to write the website copy. It's important to understand you can't just start editing a website without copy written, without outlining what photos you need for the website. Having these intricate details is so important and it's going to help you speed up the process. So number four, you are going to write the website copy. All right, so number five, you are going to create the promotional material that you need to launch this new program. Now, promotional material could be email sequences, social media marketing. It could be going on podcasts with other influencers, other business owners, other creators. You could define what your promotional material is, but this is the time when you would be creating that promotional material. All right, number six, you are going to schedule the promotional material. So this again is going into your email server and adding those email sequences, scheduling your social media posts, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, wherever you promote. And now you're going to go in and have those set. But before the end, you have to determine a frequency, right? How often are you going to post or market for this program? Are you thinking 3 days a week, 5 days a week? Are you going to go super heavy and go 7 days a week? That is a step that you also have to determine. So part of six is kind of like a duo step, but you're going to determine the frequency of your posting or your marketing, and then you're going to schedule it. Now, number seven, now you're going to go and actually set up the sales page or the landing page. This is also going to include connecting your processing payment. This is going to include making sure that your emails are automated once someone signs up. So that's what's going to be number 7. All right, so that's the last of the prep work, right? So this was some pre-work, doing some pre-work before you start prepping. This section right here is what I call the prep work. So the pre and the prep work got you ready to execute. Now you're going to jump into how to execute your program, right? So now number 8 is going to be creating the content for your program. All right, and then number 9, you are going to make sure you have all of your community and group touch points together. Your weekly Zoom calls or your bi-weekly Zoom calls or your nightly office hours, whatever your touch points with the members of this group, you're going to go ahead and get those outlined and set up. And last but certainly not least, this is the system part. You want to make sure that your tech is all ready. So that means that when someone signs up and purchases from your website, that they are automatically getting their welcome. They're automatically getting what's upcoming for the 30-day program. They are automatically added to your email list. Payments are automatically scheduled and everything is flawless on the back end. All right, thank you for bearing with my writing here, but I want to make sure that you actually see the real step-by-steps to take you from A to Z in launching this 30-day project. So now what we're going to do is jump into outlining the allotted time it would take you to complete each step. This is the magic right here. Having the steps are great. Knowing how long it would take you to complete each step, that is what sets you up for success. That's what helps you manage your time properly, account for the things that you need, account for the space that you need to launch it, and actually get you going. All right, so I'm going to write this in a different color, but now we're going to go through each step and we're going to allot how much time would it take someone on average to complete this step, okay? So defining the program, I'm going to say that would take about 30 minutes. Or defining the program, sorry. Outlining the program, I'm going to say that would take about 2 hours. Designing the program material. Now that could take quite some time, so I'm going to put another 2 hours there. All right, writing the sales page copy. I'm going to say you're a pretty good writer and it would take you about 1 hour. Now, creating the promotional material. That can be a heavy lift, so we're actually going to go a little higher with that, and we're going to do about 4 hours for this one. Now, could you break this step down into smaller steps? You could. So creating promotional material is still a pretty big step. The way that you could break this down into even smaller step is to list each platform that you need to create promotional material for. So let's say 1 is email. Number 2 is Instagram. Number 3 is TikTok. Number 4 is YouTube. Right? So now you have taken that 4 hours and broke it down into smaller hours, giving each one 1 to 1.5 hours each. All right, so now we're going to jump down to number 6. Determine your promotional plan and schedule it. I'm going to say that takes you about 90 minutes. Create a landing page and a sales page. I'm going to say anyone who maybe not be techie, that would take about 2.5 hours. Now, could you break that step down even smaller? You sure can. You could say, create the landing page, right? You could break this down into the different sections that go on the landing page, the FAQ section, the purchase section, the program details section. You can break that down into 6 or 7 more steps. Create the content for week 1. We're going to say that takes about 2 hours. Set up all your touch points. So this is your welcome email. These are your weekly calls. We're going to say that takes about 1 hour. And then lastly, the tech setup. Most people don't like tech, so I'm going to go ahead and make sure you have about 2 hours for this to get this complete. Now, of course, these are going to change based on your level of expertise, based on your level of comfort with the step. So these are just approximate. But overall, now do you see how each step has allotted time? We're going to go over how do you find time in your day, how do you find time in your routine to add these steps in. What most people try to do is sit down in one sitting and get everything done. Instead, looking at your complete day, let's say you work a full-time job, you work a 9 to 5. What opportunity on your 1 hour lunch break do you have to write the sales copy? Most likely you have missed opportunity in your day to actually get smaller tasks done. That is the benefit of breaking this big project down into those smaller tasks. So then you can go on your calendar and say, between the kids' soccer game, you have 2 hours that you're sitting in the car. What can I pull off this list that takes 2 hours? I can outline the program, right? So I'm going to show you how to find those missed opportunities in your day. And that is the secret to good time management. All right. I hope you're not thinking like, okay, Crystal, that may sound all good, but where am I going to get time to fit in 2 hours to write a program outline? Let me show you the magic of 90-minute sprints. 90 minutes is the sweet spot on getting work done for 2 reasons. 90 minutes doesn't allow enough room for you to be working on the same task for too long, but 90 minutes also allows you to complete a lot of smaller tasks so you build the momentum. You can pick 3 30-minute tasks and actually get 3 parts of your project complete in the 90-minute session. So let's go back to the beginning. What were your goals at the beginning of the year? Where are you on those goals? What projects do you still have lingering out there? The first step is to go ahead and write all of the projects that you have not gotten to, and the year is coming to a close. The second step you're going to do is, now that you have all of those projects written out, you have to prioritize them based on your goals. So what was your number 1 goal for this year? Was it to reduce the number of one-on-one clients that you service? Was it to increase your revenue? Based on your number 1 goal is the number 1 project that you are going to pick to finish before the year is out. What you're going to do is number 3. Now that you have that project selected, you are going to break that project down into smaller tasks, just as we did on the board. Write each step that you would need to complete to get that project complete before the end of the year. Number 4, you are going to allot how much time does each step take. Next to the task, write exactly how much time it would take for you to complete that step. And number 5, you are going to bring out your planner, your digital calendar, or whatever you use to schedule time for yourself. And you are going to find the time on that schedule to plug those hours in, to plug those 30-minute segments in. And you're actually going to label it the step. So that means if you have an extra 2 hours between getting home and getting the kids to bed, and you have a free 2 hours this night, you are going to find a project that fits within 2 hours so you can get it done. That is the magic to understanding the difference between projects, goals, tasks, and being able to schedule tasks appropriately. All right, so if you are not as disciplined with your time as you would like to be, let me give you a personal invite to Focus Forward. It's our 5-day Focus Sprint Challenge. It is a productivity challenge to help you finish that major project before the end of the year. During this 5-day challenge, we will be working in 90-minute work sessions together. knocking out all of the individual tasks that you have on your to-do list to finish this project. There are so many different projects people are working on. Some people are finishing their taxes. Some people are organizing their finances and their business receipts and getting ready for the upcoming tax season, launching a new service or a product, writing out email sequences for next year, writing newsletters. There is a plethora of projects that you can work on during this 5-day sprint. So, I'm super excited because I have a major project that I am finishing before the end of the year, and I will be using this focus sprint myself to get that project done. Let's go ahead, join the rest of us in Focus Forward. Click the link here in the show notes and let's get started. It is time to wrap it up and get on to the new year with clarity and peace of mind and setting new goals that you now have a system to get to. All right, until we meet again next time, I'll be somewhere planning my way through life and business.